like to recognise the Aboriginal elders past, present and future. I'd also like to acknowledge the disability activists who have paved the way and are still paving the way for equity today. This speech contains ableist language used as examples only. No need to laugh, it's ableist, for examples only. How to be a non-disabled feminist. Inclusive, diverse, intersectionality. They're all buzzwords right now. But so often, disability is forgotten when these words are used. Last year, I was removed from a Facebook group for being too political about disability. I've actually been removed from 2 more since for this very reason. That's a win. I had answered a question from one of the group's founders. Should their daughter make a dramatic change to her hair? That's a big part of their identity. My answer, of course, was based on my personal experience. It was polite, it was encouraging and empathetic. I said that someone with a disability and a visible difference, I'm always so proud when a young person chooses to make themselves stand out in some way. I said that telling someone they might regret changing the way they look or looking different from their peers is limiting. I added that long hair is often the mark of a feminine woman and thought back to when I planned my wedding and found very few photos of short-haired brides on Pinterest. I ended my comment with how my scalp went patchy when I was a teen, and it sometimes still is now, because of my skin condition, and I was so self-conscious of what others thought of me. Innocent, huh? A week after that post, I was removed from the group, and I was unfriended by one of the founders. I questioned it, and I was told, they don't think the group is for me. And I was too political about disability, which made people uncomfortable. My voice, a disabled viewpoint, was shut down. The Facebook group is run by women, for women, just like me. The members like champagne and fashion, and occasionally complain about their husbands not picking up the slack around the house. Many of us want to do good in the world, improving for future generations. Some group founders and members went to the Women's March wearing their pussy hats. They call themselves feminist, yet they excluded a disabled voice from the discussion. I got wondering whether other people were removed as well. White, middle class, Jewish, married, mothers, heterosexual, black, gay, women. I checked. My friends and others who have expressed similar views to me are still in the group. This might seem like a social media fallout, a minor disagreement between 2 women, but I believe it symbolises much more. The microaggression reminded me that the exclusion of disabled people still happens. Excluded from employment, from buildings, placed in group homes, and segregated in schools. Some disabled people are paid a measly $2.79 an hour in Australian disability enterprises. We're excluded from female relationships because our disability politics and pride are too confronting. We're excluded from feminism. Another example. A few days before the Sydney and Melbourne Women's Marches in 2017, I was contacted by 2 organisers asking how to make the marches more accessible. I gave them suggestions, including asking a woman with disability to speak, but I was disappointed that accessibility appeared to be an afterthought. Disability was left off the agenda at women's marches around the world, and accessibility was hard to come by. American disability activist and my friend Emily Ladeau wrote for The Establishment last year, but I shouldn't have to be explaining this, especially not to people who deem themselves leaders in social justice. Side note, and probably thanks to a variation of this talk I gave last year, I was invited to speak at the Women's March this year, and I spoke about these very issues. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? These 2 examples showed yet again that disability is the forgotten part of diversity. So here's what I want to tell the non-disabled feminist. Disability is part of my identity. It's just like race, gender, sexuality and religion. It cannot be separated. I am a proud disabled woman and I will speak about it. I will make you uncomfortable with my politics and pride. The personal is political. You will not silence this part of my identity. This is who I am. You cannot be a good disabled feminist if you're not intersectional. That means you must include, listen to, and value disabled people in your conversations, policies, writings, conferences, and protests. It hurts when we're excluded, even from Facebook groups. Progressive, inclusive, and diverse people still use ableist slurs. I've seen prominent activists from marginalised communities use the R word and derivatives of, and not realise the impact. The way people are talking about Donald Trump right now, calling him a moron, mocking his speech and diagnosing him with a mental illness or intellectual disability is ableist. It suggests that people with disability are like him. It paints disabled people as less than. You can't fight discrimination with discrimination. Stop consuming media about disability that's not made by us. It's more often than not othering, exploitative, and oversharing. Headlines on tabloid articles about people with ichthyosis, the skin condition I have, scream snakeskin woman, alligator boy, and mermaid baby. I guess that's cute, but you know. And everyone's raving over The Greatest Showman at the moment, but it's ableist and exploitative. Hugh Jackman's character, P.T. Barnum, ran a freak show for fuck's sake, and audiences' hearts were warmed. Were you even really watching? Disabled people are making our own media, we're our own voices, and we're all over your social media, so why aren't you noticing? Don't make disability and accessibility an afterthought. Make sure we're on your panels and behind the megaphones at your marches. Plan and budget accessibility from the start. It will keep the costs down and your disabled attendees will not have to be exasperated, chasing it up over and over again. Pay us for lived experience and advice. I recently experienced yet another refusal of payment for me to talk. The reason floored me. I was told by a disability worker in a group home that they couldn't justify my fee because the disabled people they originally asked me to talk to did not have the intellectual capacity to understand a formal speech. Just digest that for a moment. They didn't want to pay me because they thought the other people supposedly in their care couldn't understand. The low expectations that this worker had of their clients and for me was disgusting. If I was paid, I'd want to donate my speaker fee back to the disabled people at the day centre so they could spend it on professional development. Invite us to be involved in the media. Centre our voices. If you're writing a story on disabled people, don't forget to talk to us. Seriously, it's so overlooked. Ask us on Q&A, The Project, The Drum, Insight, The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. Hey Rosie, you can review it. Nothing about us without us. Don't expect us to answer every question about our disability to satisfy your curiosity. From being asked how long my life expectancy is and whether I can fix my face from strangers, to being told the false likelihood of me passing on my skin condition to my children by my mother-in-law. You name it, I've been asked an inappropriate question. Include statistics about people with disability when talking about and preventing violence. Disabled People's Organisations Australia states that people with disability experience higher rates of violence than the rest of the community. 90% of women with intellectual disability have been sexually assaulted in their lives and 60% before 18. Children with disability are 3 times more likely to experience abuse than other children, and 45% of people with disability live on or below the poverty line. To end, I'm not asking you to forget the array of important issues you already support, but to remember us and ours in your activism. You support Black Lives Matter, you champion marriage equality, you want fair pay for fair work, you want to close refugee camps, you're calling for a halt to climate change, you want violence against women to stop, you want equal representation in the media, you attend the women's marches and so do I. Don't forget to include, listen to and value your disabled sisters in your feminist movements. Are you really inclusive, diverse and intersectional, or are you just reciting buzzwords? Thank you.
Visit wheelercentre.com for the best in books, writing and ideas from Melbourne, Australia and the world.